in LA. We're reuniting in LA.
It's so great. Thank you for coming to my office. I'm so excited to show you some of the new work that and the ideas I've come up with for the Chateau.
Since I've last been there, you've been busy.
Been very busy.
Painting and scheming.
So much has been going on there, you can't believe it. But I think it's going to be fun for you to see some of the paint and color concepts.
Yes, I can't wait.
So, I don't know if you remember the wonderful Grand Salon that has all the beautiful carving and
of
over the
course.
doors. So what I've decided to do is, it was interesting. I wanted to get the sort of bright, sunny feeling of the wonderful Nancy Lancaster yellow room from London. So I actually went to Colfax and Fowler. I snuck in a Benjamin Moore paint deck. I felt very sneaky, and this was the exact yellow match.
Wow.
For their room. So I went ahead and blithely told the painters, "Go ahead. This is the color," because I knew it was the color I wanted.
Right.
I haven't been back there for a couple of weeks. They called me up and they said, "Are you sure that you want that color?" Because they painted it everywhere, and it was way too bright. What I had not thought about was this yellow is wonderful for gray, cloudy London,
right,
but not so great for sunny Loire Valley. So it was just way too strong. And so it was one of those examples where, as a designer, you have to see I always tell clients, you have to see the color.
Practice what you preach.
In the exact room.
But let's give you some credit. You're very busy. You're in Los Angeles. This is France.
But I made a big mistake.
Yes. Rip that up.
So this was 2021 50. So I said, let's just go one shade lighter on the same color spectrum. So this is 2021 60. So you can see it's just one version lighter.
Yet it seems quite a lot.
And yet it seems like a huge difference. Yep. So, but it really made a big difference in the room because it still feels yellow, but not overwhelming. And this is the color that's going to be on all the trim. So you'll get this wonderful.
That's very subtle.
Very subtle yellow and white. This is called mascarpone. And I think it's going to be a great mix for that room.
I wish we had a video of the phone call, split screen, "Hello, Monsieur Corrigan. Have you seen the walls? They are not correct.
Not correct at all.
We need to go lighter."
Yes. So and the reason I wanted to go yellow because I wanted to go green, yellow and green. So I love that combination. Okay. And this is one of my fabrics for Schumacher, and I think so. This is what the curtains are going to be.
Oh, that will be beautiful.
And it's going to be so pretty together.
Sumptuous.
And then. This is the trim that's going to go on them from Samuel & Sons.
Also your collection?
Trim. This is not my collection. My collection did not have the right color range for it, but look how great that's going to be on all the curtains. So you have all those wonderful colors. And then I'm tying it in. I'm taking my rug from Perennials. And look at this. Can you believe this is outdoor? It feels so soft. It feels you can put magic marker on it, put red wine, you can do anything, and it all comes out.
So, well, the red wine will be appropriate since I'm going to be visiting in France. You're going to be drinking a lot.
We're going to be drinking a lot of that. And so you can see here's the coloration that I'm picking up. All the blues, yellows, and greens, etc. All these colors are coming in, and that's what's so cool with these printed rugs. You can totally custom color them.
I didn't know that. Repeat that. That's amazing to know that you can custom color.
You can custom color it. And then, because I want to have, the sofas are going to be in this wonderful, yummy, white chenille that's also part of my Perennials collection with this very subtle oak leaf. Because again, I want people to be comfortable and really be able to live in this room. So you can have a white sofa and not worry about how people live on it.
Where are the color swatches again for the walls? So I want to have that all together now.
It's all going to be, now that you see the full picture, you can sort of see how rich this is all going to be together.
It's really all about that rug corresponding with these two.
And the rug ties it all together.
Amazing. Sorry they're not having more fun.
I know. So that's going to be the Grand Salon.
Okay.
Then,
next,
in the room next to it, I'm taking actually a cue from Versailles, and the small salon that we saw and has incredible carving. I'm doing it in these two shades, so it's going to be blue with just the white picking up, and it's just this sort of icy blue, but it's going to be really wonderful. And then look at it with this great fabric.
Oh, incredible! Will that be curtains or
these
on
these are going to be curtains.
Okay.
And again, this wonderful fabric coming all together. So I think that's going to be really fun together. And I'm adding this in as a punch of some color to give some of that green. It'll tie you into the room next door. And this is, again, from my new collection with Schumacher.
Love this.
Isn't that fun?
That's so fun. Yeah, and I like that they have such different moods, this and this.
Yes, but they work together.
Yes.
Then in the dining room, I found all the paneling in the room is really spectacular, except for one wall where there used to be a big tapestry, and that tapestry was taken out by the former owners. So I had a big blank wall, and I found these great 6 panels from the 18th century, painted panels, and they're going to be put into the walls. And so I'm taking the colors from those paintings and was lucky enough to use some Benjamin Moore paints. Benjamin Moore is now available in Europe, so I actually was able to use these paints and
to pick up those colors.
Oh, so fun. It's going to be predominantly these 2 shades of sort of sandy golds. But then because there's some red in the painting, and I've got this amazing Maison Janssen big cabinet that's bright lacquered red, I'm going to pick up this red as well. And it's just going to be a tiny little pinstripe on the paneling, just a very subtle use of red, so it's not too overpowering.
Kind of like what you did in your Paris apartment.
Exactly, the same thing. Those were all different shades of grays and whites. I'm doing the same thing here. But again, that red just adds a little punch, but without being too overwhelming. And then in the library next door, I actually wanted to have a room that was much darker, a little more moody, because I think it's nice to have a mixture of brighter, lighter rooms and then darker, more evening rooms. I'm taking and I'm using this wonderful Benjamin Moore, which is actually, in English, it's called Kennebunkport Green.
Referencing Maine.
Referencing Maine, so it's going to have that, and then it's going to have this sort of wonderful green fabrics. I'm mixing lots of different greens. You can see all the different greens that are going to be mixed in there. And then I'm doing this great rug from Kyle Bunting that I designed. It's sort of a classic design, sort of a classic Aubusson design, and then using all these different shades of great greens that we'll be mixing in. And so you can see it's all going to tie together, I think, so beautifully, and create a very different, unusual look to have this sort of hide rug in this chateau.
What I think is fun is that a green that is kind of named after a very Americana state, which would look very at home on the ocean in Maine, is going over to France.
And it's going to be very at home in the Loire Valley as well.
Yes, and what's it called? What's its French name?
In French, it's called Vert Sol. And then, if you remember my big bedroom that used to be an artist's atelier, I am so excited because I'm going to be doing all the walls in that room in this incredible paper that I designed. This is the colorway for Fromental. And again, so it just sort of makes sense because it's looking out at the gardens.
Of course.
And it's the French gardens, and it's got all these wonderful little trees around the parterre gardens.
When you designed this, were you kind of thinking?
I wasn't, but I'm not. But the second one, once I saw that chateau,
that's where it's gonna go.
like, oh my God, this is the perfect room for it. And so what I then did was, and this is just a little mock-up, I decided to take the motif from just right here in the gardens, and it's going to be the leading edge on curtains. And this is not the right color, but it's going to be with velvet and then ultra suede as the leading edge, and picking up that same motif that's in the thing. So this is going to be all on the gardens. And what's interesting is that I actually need close to 200 yards of fabric just to do the curtains in that room. So it's a lot of fabric.
A lot of fabric. You better start designing that collection.
Exactly. And just to give you a sense of the overall project, this is my sort of design Bible. It's got every single room. And you can you can see how many rooms there are because there are that many.
This is incredible.
Each room, so there's a picture for each room, and then
you really have to do this, right? I mean, you can't just sort of wing it.
You have to have it, and so you can see. I have all the fabrics, all the colors, all the details that are going to be tied in there. And I have this sort of detailed list for every single room that says what's the paint color, what's the lighting, and then eventually all the furniture that's going to go into that room will all be in that section. So you have a complete summary of the entire project right here in this book. I lost it for around 2 weeks, and I freaked out and realized I actually had left it at the Chateau. But it's my one and only Bible, so I try to keep it with me everywhere I go.
You should like hang it around your neck, like get some jewelry, and it's just like.
God forbid we put it on a computer. That's just
never check this.
No.
I would go on the plane to France.
It goes in my carry-on.
It's like an emotional support animal.
It is that. So I cannot wait for you to come. You're going to be coming.
See you soon.
Very soon. We're going to get the full sort of tour of the house. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you.